We are at the Tata Motors Design Studio in the UK, and with us today is Martin Uhlarik, Vice President of Tata Motors Design. Martin, thank you so much for having us here. It's really an amazing privilege to see all this.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming. I'm really happy to show you around the studios, behind the curtain, what happens and how we produce what we do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's not every day we get to see stuff like this and also sit down and have a chat. And I have to start with the Curvv, which is why we're here, of course, right? Something you said to me earlier, it is a COVID baby.
Yes.
Could you explain that?
Yeah, the concept, the idea was born during the pandemic. We were all working remotely. We had 180 studios. Everybody was working from home.
Oh, wow.
The trick was to try to coordinate, everybody from remote, across, three countries, all locations. And the idea at the time was, what is going to be the next product? And we saw a trend with SUVs, coupes. We have a very comprehensive SUV portfolio. And now we were saying, like, we're cutting the pie very finely. And now is there an opportunity for a new product, a white space product? And we also saw that in the Indian market, there is a space and appetite for a product that is more emotional, more dynamic. It's no longer just a rational, practical SUV. That, there could be a space for that. So we created the concept. That's the one we showed 2 years ago. The idea got a lot of momentum, both externally from the press, from the public, but also internally. We did all the numbers and we rationalized it, and we saw a roadmap to making this. And then we just decided to create the product.
Oh, that's
here we are in 2024, and we're about to launch it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So this one is clearly an example of something that designers, like you said, sitting at home, fruitful minds,
yes,
proposing something to management. What's a typical process? Is it management driven that says, hey, let's design a XXX product, or is it designers that lead that?
Design has a very unique position in Tata Motors in the sense that it has a terrific forum, and the management is really willing to listen. So we don't just design the cars, we do a lot of market analysis from a design point of view, but we identify trends, social trends, design trends, automotive design trends, and that slowly leads to a conclusion where we present roughly about once a year a number of white space ideas. And we said maybe there's a niche here, maybe there's a niche there. Of course, then with product planning, we analyze that in more depth. We see the market, the demographics, price point. Then the next step after that is, is there a viable route do we have a platform? What powertrain should it be under? What's the price point? And so forth. That slowly leads to a full production program. And that's what happened with the Curvv.
So Martin, also, you are going up into a segment which is dominated by traditional SUVs.
Yes.
And you're going in with a coupe,
yes,
right? Do you think that's going to be, let's say, an advantage or a disadvantage, or do you see it as
I think there's space for both, to be honest. I mean, we're going to occupy that space very soon with a more traditional SUV. And at the same time, I think there's enough of a market. The Indian market is becoming so sophisticated, so nuanced, that there's a space for people who want that sort of SUV, but at the same time are looking for something more emotional. You're seeing that there's sort of fragmentation of the SUV market. So for sure, there's going to be a market for this.
For the coupe SUV. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Oh,
and being first in the market with this sort of typology is also very important. We have a real legacy of actually creating segments in the market. So I think it's very reflective of our DNA overall.
Right. And Martin, something on the facility, since we're here, and I'm sure everyone would like to know about this. If you could just tell us, what really do we have here? What does Tata Motors have in terms of capability? How big is it? Things like that.
So we're here at the Tata Motors Design Tech Center, which is in the Midlands in the UK. It's one of the 3 studios that we have globally. We have one in Pune and one in Torino, in Turin, Italy. Here in the UK, we have roughly around 100 people working in design exclusively, and then we also have 100 people working in engineering. And we work collaboratively. We are, in many ways, an advanced capability in terms of a design studio, but we do everything from concept to production here, the full gamut from, in the industry language, everything right down to A-class to tool release data. And that includes, the traditional exterior, interior, color and trim, and then also UX, UI design. And then of course, even defining the platform, the parameters, the hard points of the architecture. So everything is done here. And then of course, we work very hand in hand with our colleagues in India, in Pune. And then of course, the manufacturing, our suppliers, and then of course, getting the car in production. And each studio is capable of delivering a production program.
Oh, that's interesting. So, right now I can see there's a CNC mill. It's milling away at a clay model. What exactly is that doing?
Yeah, so that's a scale model. The milling machine is milling a proposal, data set that is one idea. Usually the scale models are more for proof of concept. So it's what type of vehicle do we want to make? It's a very quick way to validate, audit, and review with management. This could be a potential proposal. And then when we do a design program, we have a competition. All the studios are sketching, exterior and interior. It's like a World Cup, And then you have the qualifying round, which is the sketch phase. And then we do a selection. We have 6 are selected. They get made into data. And then out of that data review, 3 are selected. They go into scale. And then the scales are reviewed with management, and we pick 2. 2 go into full size. And then we have a go with 1. That's the finals. And then the winning design gets picked. And the same thing happens with interior. And you've seen with interior, we work now with virtual reality. So we shortchange that. And then we go straight to full size with the 2 proposals to do the go with 1 proposal.
Wow.
And that's a better part of a 6-month process from the starting gun, the kickoff, of the thing to the go with 1 selection. 6 months.
Wow. It sounds like, when you say we've picked 1, it sounds like it's the end. But from what I saw today,
it's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning. Once you have the single theme selection, then actually the real hard work happens. Design is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. And that phase, like you said, post go with 1, once you have the single theme, that's when you actually sit down, roll up your sleeves, and can you achieve that vision in production, on cost, feasible, and to the quality level expected, without sacrificing the original vision. And that's the actual work that a designer has to do.
Martin, I know you're short on time, so the last question. You have 3, sort of different countries
Yes.
designing. In terms of nationalities, are they all driven by the country they are in, or do you have people from India working here?
Oh, yes. I mean, we have a very cosmopolitan team. We have a number of Indian designers, modelers working here in the UK. Many of them are on an exchange program. The same thing, we've had English designers in India, in Pune. Same thing with the Italians. We've got a number of Italians now here who are seconded here in the UK. We've got 20 odd nationalities between the 3 studios. I think we have 9 or 11, I can't remember here, myself included. To be honest, it's a very global industry. We're designing for India specifically as a market, but in the end, Indian market and all design is global in the sense like the expectation standards, and it's an international product.
Great. Thank you so much, Martin. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to start poking around the design studio.
Yeah, please have a look.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.